Several months to make the best opportunity in direct marketing even better.
Its 4 families of products and services, home, business, personal, and entertainment, have led to the growth of 5LINX's into a more than $100 million company. Its inclusion in the Inc. 5000 list 8 times, and it's being named one of the 100 largest direct sales companies in the world by Direct Selling News. Despite the overwhelming success of 5LINX's, it's still missing one vital element, one final product family which will put the company on its way to $1 billion. This will be the most important addition in 5LINX's history, and we're ready to announce it right now. Please welcome to the stage VP of North American Sales, William Faucette Jr.
Let's go, 5LINX's! On your feet, get up! Get up! Get up on your feet! On your feet! On your feet! Get up! Get up! Get up! On your feet! On your feet! What about over here? On your feet! Let's go, 5LINX's! Why put it off another day? One by one, little problems build up and stand in our way. What's up, 5LINX's? What's up, Dad? Step behind it. Now you gotta run to get even. Are you ready over here? Make future plans I dream about yesterday. Hey, you ready over here? Turn this thing around right now. Hey, so tomorrow. All right. Right now. Come on. Give yourselves a hand. Right. As you can see, I'm fired up. And I'm tired too. I didn't build that into my grand plan. Guys, we have been planning for this day for more than 2 years. Steve and Pastor are laughing at me. Said I'm still out of breath. No, that's called the pregnant pause. See, I'm actually setting the mood here in the room. And I'm out of breath. Guys, we have been focused on one thing. And that one thing is how we pay those among you who are serious more money than has ever been paid in the history of our industry. And I want you to understand this. When I say that, I know there are people who laugh, people who scoff at it, people who say, well, who are they to think that they could actually do that? But I want you to understand, we know who we are. We're the people who've been doing what people said we couldn't do for 14 years now.
So when we say that's our goal, I would tell you, don't bet against us. And so I want to take you through the process that got us to this point. As you know, our goal is not just to be a billion-dollar company. Our goal is to be a multi-billion-dollar company. And our goal is to pay more money in commissions, literally billions in commissions. So when we talk about $1 billion, we're thinking billions paid to you. And so we're constantly thinking, how do we do that? And as you know, we've always been on the services side of this industry. And there are significant benefits to services. Everyone needs them. You don't need to create a market. People typically don't change lifestyle or buying habits. And we have leveraged that portion of the industry. And I believe, especially in voice over IP, we've leveraged it better than anyone else. But let's be honest, services has some challenges as well. Margins typically aren't all that big. There's usually downward pressure on pricing, which is always a good thing. It means that there's a better deal for a customer. And so we leveraged services, but then we began to look, well, what makes the most sense to provide the best opportunity possible for our field? And as you can see here, our real focus has been, how do we grow faster here? Equally as important, how do we get traction elsewhere? How do we expand internationally? How do we achieve this vision of 5LINX being a household name, not just in this country, but all around the world? And most importantly, as we said, bigger incomes. So as you know, we decided that we simply need some additional products. Now, Craig took you through some of the areas of the industry we've chosen to move in and what we've done, and I'm going to review those for you in a minute. But the key thing I want you to understand when we talk about new products is that our focus was that everything we do must still be characterized by the 5 principles we founded the company on. Most especially our integrity. We didn't want to do anything that didn't reinforce our position as a leader in this industry. And we've always been a leader. As you heard earlier, in wireless, you may not realize, but we were the first company in direct marketing to offer a real wireless product. What I mean by that is a product that was the exact same as people could get elsewhere. Nobody else was doing that at the time we did it. We did it in 2001, and the only reason we could do it was because of Craig's relationships. So we became the industry leader in that. And as he said, we became a leader in local phone service, and then we became a leader in voice over IP. I don't think anyone has done, in fact, I know no one has done what we've done in voice over IP, built to $100 million, become a leader in video telephony, become a top 50 VoIP company in the world, inside or outside of our industry. You guys can applaud for that. As Craig said, we set our focus on energy. And despite the fact that others moved before us, we set our goal was to build one of the largest footprints in the industry, and we've absolutely done that. We focused on mobile marketing. We became an industry leader in that. So why am I saying all this to you? I'm saying all this because we've never been a Me Too company. And I want to send one message to you. I don't care about anybody who's not in 5LINX, all due respect. But I'm sending this message to you. In order to know what someone's is going to do, you got to look at where they've been. And with all this history, if you've seen that 5LINX has never been a Me Too company. We've never done something just to do it. We've always moved into a space and become one of, if not the, market leaders in that space. Why would you expect anything different from us now? So I want you guys to understand one thing. We're announcing some things here today, and we're announcing them not to simply add them, which is what we're doing. We are announcing them to do the same thing we've done everywhere else, and that is to dominate. To dominate. I'll say this again. To dominate this market space. You can doubt it if you want. But with the leadership in these first couple rows, we're simply going to get it done. So guys, I am very pleased and proud to announce right here from our Miami International event, you can say you were there. In 5 years, when people are flying around the world on their private planes based upon what 5LINX has produced for them, you can say you were in the room when 5LINX launched its 5th product family. That is health and wellness. That's right, you can stand up for that. Now, as I said, we've gone through a tremendous amount of study. Quite honestly, we're a little disappointed in what we were finding. We could have launched this before now. Craig said it very well to some of our leaders. He said we could have done this before now, but we didn't think that what we were being offered and what we would offer to you would be characteristic of what our company is. Because so much of what is out there in this space is basically the same as everything else. The difference is in the story they tell about it. But we wanted to have the same advantage that we've had everywhere else. We want to have products that are unique, products that provide real value, products that create a real opportunity for you, our representatives. So as we began to study, and Craig laid this out very well, as we began to study, there was one market that we didn't expect to want to enter, but ultimately, when we studied it, it became clear that that was what we needed to do. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the coffee market in general. As you heard, $100 billion worldwide, second largest commodity in the world, bigger than things like gold and silver. Second most consumed beverage in the world. 500 billion cups every year. What about here? World's largest consumer, 3 cups a day, over $1,000 spent. Would you agree it makes sense to get a piece of what's happening in the coffee market? Well, let's look at, if you look at our restaurant chains, over half the top 10 sell it. You can see what their sales were. Now, I don't know about you, but it doesn't take a whole lot of $100 billion to be a whole lot of money in your bank account. You agree with me on that? Well, again, our focus was not just in offering a product like everyone else. We needed to do something that hadn't been done before. And I'll tell you, you're going to hear a common theme. You've heard it throughout my presentations. Jeb says it a lot. You know, this is my belief, my values. I believe that 5LINX is a blessed company. Because every time we have been searching for something, it's shown up. And so we had the opportunity to be introduced to a gentleman. Came in the corporate office. We were talking to him about this space in general. And we were talking about the larger industry and coffee came up. And this gentleman said, well, it's funny you say that because I just spent a couple years creating a coffee product unlike any that's ever been on the market. And he actually happened to have some with him. I don't drink a whole lot of coffee, but the people who do in our office tried that coffee and said it was the best tasting coffee they'd ever had. And that led to a series of events that bring us to today. And I know none of you know this at all, but I'm very proud to introduce our first product in our expansion into health and wellness, MontaVida coffee. Now, it's kind of hard to bring a whole lot of energy and enthusiasm in the room when everyone knows what you're going to say, right? So let's redo that for the video. I'm going to say MontaVida coffee, and you all go, okay, you ready? I'm very pleased and proud to introduce our first product in health and wellness, MontaVida coffee. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There we go, yes. Sirens too, that's right. All right, now, I'm not going to throw a ton of science at you, but remember, throughout what we say today, we have never been, will never be a Me Too company. And the story that this gentleman told us about the research that he had done made the difference. It's why we're here. So, as Craig said earlier, we are introducing a coffee that's actually very good for you. Now, if you look at what the difference is with MontaVida, the first thing is its highest quality. It's the top grade in Colombian coffee beans. Now, people have asked us, well, you know, what is it? What's the blend? Is it a medium roast? Is it light roast, dark roast, specialty? Well, we wanted to start where most people prefer. And so we started in the middle. So this is a medium roast blend. Key thing, though, we didn't believe that instant would be characteristic of best in class. And so this is actually a brewed coffee. It's not instant. You can applaud for that. But you look at the ingredients. The ingredients that have been proven scientifically. And that's another key theme you'll hear today. They've been proven scientifically to have healthful effects. And so there are two ingredients, as Craig referenced, Ramon seeds and MCT oil. Let's look at them for a minute. First of all, Ramon seeds. They're called the Mayan secret. They're low in fat, very high in vitamins, high in fiber, healthy fatty acids, which is a key in the diet. We get the highest and best quality. And then the second ingredient, MCT oil. Now, MCT oil, again, has been proven in study to actually allow people to maintain a healthy weight. It's considered a fat burner. It helps support lean body tissue. It actually increases your metabolic rate. It actually gives you energy beyond just what normal coffee would do because the MCT oil helps your body produce it. But I know you're not as interested in hearing about that from me because you know I'm a marketer. But you may be interested in hearing about it from an expert. So we have a video here that'll tell you a little bit about what MCT oil does.
The last fat melter One of my favorites. This will help you lose those last stubborn 5 pounds. And one of the beauties of this is that you can actually get this pretty readily in your diet. It's called MCT, or medium chain triglycerides. So what is this, Dr. Selhub, and how does it work?
Well, this is one of my favorites because you can bring it into a healthy lifestyle. And so medium chain triglycerides, as the name implies, they're medium sized versus long chain triglycerides, which are pretty much almost all the fats that we eat. And because they're smaller, they're easier to digest. So it goes right into the stomach, right to the liver, and it gets broken down for fuel.
This is such an important principle that I want to demonstrate it with this little model. So this is the blood going through the body. When you eat foods that have medium chain triglycerides, the body immediately absorbs that into the liver. And because it goes to the liver, it's broken down as energy rapidly, easily dissolved. That's why places in the world that have lots of these MCTs in their diet naturally don't seem to have as much of an issue as we do. Now, fats, on the other hand, are very different. Because they have these long, bulky chains, they're thick and they're cumbersome. They can't get through the system, so they have to go into the lymph. When they get into your lymph, they clump up. And you see how this is forming this sort of thick material here? Yeah. I mean, it really pulls everything together, and it doesn't actually get absorbed the way you want it to. And because of that, it tends to get deposited, as you mentioned, Dr. Selhub, in very unsightly places, the places you don't want it to be. So what kind of results could you rationally expect to have if you could start taking the recommended amount of MCT?
Well, the studies show, this is pretty cool stuff, but you can actually burn about 100 calories a day by adding MCT to your diet. That's 3,000 calories a month. That's a pound of fat a month.
Huh.
That's pretty significant, just by adding it to your diet, adding it to your lifestyle.
So one of our viewers, Andrea, she's from Arkansas, she sent us before and after images. She said she used MCT and lost 100 pounds. This picture will blow you away. And Andrea is disappearing from us.
How's that sound? Exciting? Do you guys realize there is nothing that combines Ramon seeds and MCT oils on the market? The gentleman who actually created the product said that the way he actually got to that place was that he found that people who knew the benefits of MCT oils would actually add them to their coffee. And so we've got a product, patent protected product, that no one else in the marketplace will be able to offer. You all can applaud for that. All right, now let's talk about how we're going to market MontaVida. First of all, I know you all have never seen this before, but this is a bag of MontaVida coffee. It'll look familiar for those of you who were here yesterday. But we also, because so many people now use a brewing cup, and so we also are offering a brew cup as well. For those of you who have brewing machines, Keurig's a popular model. You actually just put the cup in your machine. And the marketing department, Denise Nowak and their team did a great job putting together this professionally produced package. You can give them a round of applause for that as well. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. This weekend, we're going to obviously offer the coffee. On an ongoing basis, we're going to have bulk orders available. That would be like if you had a retail store that was using it and wanted to retail the product, they could buy in bulk. Or if you had a specialty application, you could buy in bulk. But we're going to be offering it, and I want you all to pay close attention as we go through this. I'm going to get one of our forms, and our staff are going to, thank you. Our staff are going to be passing these around, and we'll explain them to you. But I want to say a couple things before we get to this. You know, everyone who knows me knows I'm pretty straightforward, and I wouldn't come up here on stage and tell you that, you know, I'm a big coffee drinker, because I'm not. But you know, it's also important to be a product of your product. And so I really didn't want to be someone who came up on stage and talked about something that I had never tried. So when it became clear we were going to get in the coffee, I started trying coffee. And I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I got some, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't make it through. And then the only thing I found I could actually try was probably some special concoction at a specialty store, and it was probably 90% sugar and whipped cream and 10% coffee. So one day we were actually in the office with the gentleman who created the formula, and Jason. Jason said, "Have you tried it yet?" I said, "No." And I just said, I just can't do coffee. And he said, "No, try this." And that's the line, anyone who's hung around Jason, he'll whip something up, "Here, try this." And when you're dealing with Jason, you might as well try it because he's not going to stop until you do. And so I finally figured I was going to just have to take this coffee and choke it down. And I would tell you, from a non-coffee drinker, I drank that whole thing, and I looked at Jason, and I said, "This stuff is really good." So for those of you who drink coffee, take it from a non-coffee drinker. That is the best tasting coffee I've ever had. I think Steve, as a former non-coffee drinker, agrees, because he's constantly calling us saying, "I need some more of that coffee." So what we're going to do this weekend is we're going to give you the opportunity to get some, to take some home. I'm going to explain that, but I want to talk about pricing first. And obviously there's others in our space, direct marketing, that offer offer coffee. And there are, chains, retail chains built around coffee. So I want to give you a sense of how we're positioned. So let's look at some of those that are out there. You see these prices range from $25, $31, typically, especially if you're going to a specialty retailer, you're looking at $1 to $3 or $4 per serving. So for our MontaVida coffee, ground, not instant, we're actually coming out at a preferred pricing strategy of $29.95 for 57 servings. So you can applaud for the real value that we're able to offer to our customers. All right, now let's look at how we're going to compensate. Right? Anyone interested in the comp plan on this? All right, well, I think this is where you're really going to start to catch the vision. You're going to see why we've made the addition of these products as we start to talk about what we're going to be able to offer. Now, I'm going to summarize this quickly. Don't worry if you don't fully understand it. There's going to be a training this afternoon. All our staff are here to help provide additional information. But I'm going to simplify this chart that you see right here. First of all, we offer a retail purchase for one bag of coffee. Retail means it's a one-time purchase. So someone goes on your website, they buy a bag of coffee. If they buy that ground, like you see right here, if they buy this, it's going to be $39.95. If they buy the K-Cup pods, again, one time, it's going to be $54.95. Now, I'm going to explain this to you. We have our preferred pricing as well. Preferred pricing means a customer or a representative, it doesn't matter, who wants to get the coffee, either one bag or one box of our pods, and there's 30 in a box, every month. We're going to give you a discount when you purchase every month. So you can see that that pricing is $29.95 for a bag or $39.95 for the pods. So that's where you can get the biggest value. You're using the coffee or a product of the product. You're replacing that spend that you would have done at a major retail chain with purchasing from yourself. And then you can also see we have the bulk options here. Someone wants one-time bulk. The pricing is there. That means they get one order of bulk. Or if they want a recurring bulk purchase, again, maybe they have a retail store, you can see the pricing there as well. So again, we'll have a ton of documentation so that you all can understand this. You don't need to take pictures or video the slide. Everything's going to be there for you. I want you just to be clear, when we talk this weekend, when you hear people talk about auto ship, they're talking about preferred pricing, whether it's retail or bulk. Auto ship is preferred pricing. Make sense? All right, let's talk about compensation. Now, remember how much money people were able to create on that $4 GlobalInks CV. You see some CVs here, they're a little bit higher, right? I didn't hear you. Do you see some CVs here that are a little bit higher? See, the leaders get this. They understand what's happening this weekend. They understand that we're not just doubling or tripling incomes. Because some people, just by their own consumption, are going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 auto ships coming into their house. You're likely to see your average customer purchase rate go up double or triple. So you're combining a doubling or even tripling of your average CV with a doubling or even tripling of your average customer count. All I know that means is simply more money going to you. Is that all right? So as you can see, we have an $8 CV on a bag of coffee, an $11 CV on the pods. And as you can see, we also, if someone goes online, let's say a customer just wants to try it one time. They go online, they purchase a bag, they'll pay that $39.95, but you'll get a $10 bounty. You're going to applaud for that as well. One of the leaders asked last night, well, what's better? Wouldn't we want people going on our websites and just purchasing the bag one time so we can get the bounty? And the answer is no, you don't want that. If someone wants to purchase one time, that's fine, but your goal is to get everyone to preferred pricing. Because that means you have a true and real retail customer that you don't have to do anything to support. We'll take care of all that. We're going to ship them their coffee on a monthly basis. It keeps coming in, and then we're sending you your portion of that $8 or $11 CV. Make sense? Make sense? All right, now, you can see again on the bulk purchases, significantly higher CV. So if you have someone who knows that they actually will retail a lot of coffee, imagine having that $40 or $65 CV move through your organization. Is that powerful? Are you sure? Is that powerful? You with me on that? But here's how I want you to think. This is the way I would be teaching people. Yeah, that's great. That's great to have someone who has a retail establishment and they get a bulk shipment of K-Cups every month, and so I'm getting a $65 CV that's moving through the organization. That's great. But how much better is having one rep who truly gets this? And they actually get the people they know drinking coffee to get on that preferred pricing auto ship every month. And let's say the average CV, because it's a blend of K-Cups and coffee and ground coffee, let's say the average CV is $10. And that person gets 20 auto ship customers, which is not outlandish because probably 80 or 90% of the people you know drink coffee. So which would you rather have? That retail establishment that is causing a $65 CV to move through your organization, or that individual who gets this and gets their friends and family drinking our coffee, and you have an average CV of 10 and they have 20 customers, and you have that $200 CV moving through your organization? Doesn't that sound a little bit better? If every rep in your organization who understands this, even if they average 10 customers on auto ship, you realize that the average rep, that means that's $100 in CV moving through your organization. Are you getting a little bit more excited? Well, you can see here we have the points. We're doing 1 point on a bag or one order of K-Cups. We're doing 5 points on a bulk order. Now, this weekend, you all have the opportunity to get your coffee. Here's the way it's going to work. Hopefully you all have these auto ship forms. They've been coming around. This is your way to get coffee. The only coffee that we are retailing this weekend is for people who choose to get on auto ship. We simply know there's going to be a tremendous amount of demand. We don't have the ability to just sell one bag of coffee in this environment. You'll certainly be able to get that going home, but you can't get it this weekend. So what you're going to need to do if you want coffee, you fill out your auto ship form. It allows you to choose whether you want a bag or a brew cup order. You even can choose a bulk order. And if you choose to, you can take it with you. So what our representatives will do is when you fill this out, as soon as we shut down here for lunch, the store is going to open. You'll be able to go, you turn your form in, and they will actually fulfill your order. Actually, I said if you choose to, you can take it with you. You'll take it with you from here, but there is a UPS store actually in the convention center if you want to ship it to yourself. It's entirely up to you, but we wanted to get the coffee to you as quickly as we could. So does that make sense? Now I need to give you one other piece of information. We are allowing one time only. Our bulk orders will be for executive directors and above only. But we are allowing for the national convention only. We're allowing those of you who are not yet executive directors or above to order in bulk. The way it's going to work is you can order one bulk order, and that doesn't have to be auto ship, for every auto ship order you get. And you can get up to 2 auto ships here at the National. Why would you get 2 auto ships? Well, you probably want one for your use, and you want one to sample out to other people. But if you want to go back and really hit the ground running, you can get up to 2 bulk orders, which would be 10 in a bulk order, to take home with you in addition to your auto ship. Does that make sense? Everybody getting that? Your upline leaders have an understanding of it. They can help give you some guidance. The main thing is to make sure you get on auto ship. That's going to be 1 bag or 1 brew cup package. And then if you choose, you can get a bulk order as well. So we have staff in the line that will help you to understand this. But rest assured, we are going to set the industry on fire with this product. Those of you who weren't aware, if you've been buying coffee here in the convention center, that coffee is the MontaVida product. So you already are a product of your product. You've gotten a sense of the way it tastes. You need to get it, and let's hit the ground running. All right, now I need to give you one more piece of information. People have been saying, the leaders have been talking to us over time, you know, it would be great if we had an opportunity to actually help people get started in the business and allow them to get the points they need to release a bonus with or without 5LINX's. And you guys are kind of applauding because you don't know exactly what I'm saying yet. That's okay, I get it. A lot of information. Well, what we've put together for our launch of coffee, we've put together what we're calling a Quickstart Bundle. Now, here's what it is. We're going to give you 3 bags of ground coffee, 3 bags of our brew cups, a 3-pack of brochures. That's 30 brochures. You see the value there, $292. Well, we're not going to retail this for $292. We want you to get off to as quick a start as possible. So when people get started in 5LINX, they are going to have the opportunity to check a box on the enrollment form that will give them this bundle for $220. Now, you know there's always fine print. So let's talk about some of the fine print. First of all, it requires platinum services. That's the only fine print, really, because the next is just benefits. The second thing is this is going to trigger a $60, what we're calling leadership bounty bonus. No, you guys got to do better. Although you don't know what it is, you know it's money. So this is going to trigger a $60 leader bounty bonus. Give that a round of applause. It's going to trigger $8 to the platinum pool. Now, when you choose this, it will automatically transfer to an auto ship order. Now, that 4 points you see here includes platinum services. So if someone gets on platinum services, that's 3. Their coffee auto ship adds 1, so that'll be 4. They only need then, obviously, 4 more points to get qualified. Make sense? Come on, you all don't have to applaud for that. You know it doesn't make sense to you. You guys aren't getting that. You're saying, what's the benefit in that? If it's 1 point, why would they get it? Right? So you're telling me you want more points? Are you telling me you want more points? What about 5 points? No, you guys aren't applauding loud enough. 5 points is good. You want more points? What about 6 points? Come on, you all could get 2 more points. How many points does it take to get qualified without Global Links? So you guys mean to tell me you can't get 2 more points? Are you telling me you want more points? How many points do you want? What? How about 8 points? Now, is that powerful? Think about it. Someone comes into the business. I want you to understand what's happening here. We are going to continue to build through all our products, but we know we have some folks who the nutritional and health and wellness side of the business will be a focus. What we want them to do is to be able to come in and get qualified immediately. Do you understand what we're saying? They come in. They check the box. That is going to be immediate qualification, and it triggers a $60 leadership bonus in addition to the cab. How's that sound? And Jason's going to explain this afternoon what the leadership bonus is. Suffice it to say, I think NDs and above will be very excited. All right. One more thing I need to share with you. On our K-Cup purchase, our brew cup purchase, we made some special edition brew cups and boxes. Now we're transitioning to a product that will be fully branded 5LINX. It's going to come in a package like this. It'll allow you to sample it out. You can give it to someone. It'll have the MontaVida logo on it and a catchy phrase. A catchy phrase on it. And we're transitioning to that right now. For many of you, when you purchase this weekend, you'll get this. But we have a special edition for the first movers, the people who choose to get started right away. And that is a more traditional brew cup with a MontaVida sample box. So you can actually put the brew cup in this box and then give it to someone. There's a limited supply of this. So the first 775 orders of the brew cup will get these. Then everyone else will get these that, again, are very appropriate to give someone as a sample. Everybody good with that? So as soon as we order, you'll want to move as quickly as possible. As soon as we finish here. Make sense? All right. One last announcement that we have for you. We want you to understand what's coming. Because while coffee is necessary, it's something we're very excited about. The leaders are very excited about it. It's not sufficient. We want a well-rounded product line. And so we have some products coming that I think you're going to be a little bit excited about. I want you to understand what we're targeting. First, how about weight loss? Anybody interested in losing some weight? It seems like everybody's interested in losing some weight. Our targets, over 60 billion. A specialty in that area, meal replacement, 6 billion. How about energy? Anybody interested in having more energy? Energy drinks and shots, $37 billion. And then finally, what we're calling anti-aging optimum health, $270 billion. Combined right now, these three markets we're targeting are almost $600 billion. As you heard from Craig, by 2017, there'll be $1 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Do you realize it takes 0.1% of a $1 trillion market to be a $1 billion company? I know with you all we can get that. But again, we're not a Me Too company. We didn't want to just put something out on the market. We didn't want to just create something that others have that just has a different flavor to it or a different story to it. Because we knew that that was not what you all would want us to do. We knew that you all would want us to get something that no one else has. And I'm going to give you a little background on this. Someone I respect in the industry very much called me and he said, look, I got a guy who says he has something that's very unique. I can't vouch for what he has, but I can vouch for the guy. He's a stand-up guy. I'm going to give him your number if it's okay. I said, fine, give him my number. So this guy called me, and quite honestly, I was half listening, because one of the benefits of what we've created, what all of us in here have created, is we get a lot of pitches. And so the first thing he said that piqued my interest was that he had run a public network marketing company in the nutritional arena, and that now he consults with other companies. And he had found something that he believed that we needed to hear about. And so he told me a little about it. And he got me on the phone with a principal from the company. And he sent me some product. And now you can know our mindset, right? A guy I didn't know sent me product that was coming in a plastic bag. And I was actually trying it, right? Half-heartedly, though, because I didn't know the guy. And I didn't know what was in the product. And so I decided that I had heard enough that I needed to go out and visit this company. So I went out and visited the company. And I thought I was actually meeting with the CEO that I had spoken with on the phone. But he had another obligation. And so I met this gentleman by the name of Mark Morris, who's a vice president at the company. And so I'm sitting in this meeting, and frankly, I'm a little like, why am I here? Because I thought I was meeting with one guy, and now I'm meeting with this other guy, and I don't know him, and I don't know any of the people here, right? So I'm kind of a little bit closed-minded. And then this guy, Mark, starts to talk. And let me tell you, when I say that speaking to Mark was like speaking to Jason, when Jason is actually selling you on something, the only difference was that Mark was talking in terms I didn't understand, because he was telling me all the science behind it. And so I picked up about every fifth word. And the only thing that was running through my mind was the old Living Color days, right? All I kept thinking was Metamucil, right? At the end of this meeting, I had to catch a plane. And I kept delaying leaving. I kept delaying leaving. The other guy had to leave. I kept saying, no, I can't leave yet, because this guy, Mark, is still talking. He had me so excited. I left there. I was late for my plane, but the first thing I did when I got in the car is I took this product. Because he had convinced me that if you are someone who is concerned about optimum health, living a long time, having quality of life, looking the best that you can look, he convinced me that you absolutely have to take this product. So we're going to explain to you some of the science behind what you will be the only people in our industry representing. But before that, some of you may have seen that this led to a series of discussions. They came to New York. Craig allotted about 20 minutes. 2.5 hours later, he was still in the meeting, because Craig, Jeb, and Jason had the same reaction that I had. They got more excited than they had ever been. So as we make this addition into health and wellness, and to address those who say there's not going to be any science behind what they're doing, I want to address that right now, because I want you all to understand that we have gone out and found the folks who produce the science to partnership with, because we're announcing here today a partnership agreement, $62 million with Chromadex. This appeared in the Wall Street Journal. Now, you guys don't know who Chromadex is yet, so let's talk a little bit about Chromadex. Here's what I want you to understand about Chromadex. Chromadex is a company that works with the biggest and best companies in the world. What they're able to do, they have clients like the Food and Drug Administration, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Kraft Foods. Basically, when the government wants to know what the science is in a particular product or ingredient, they go to Chromadex. What Chromadex, because of these relationships, is able to do is to get products and bring them to market, create uniqueness that doesn't otherwise exist. They have patent-protected products. The products that we're able to offer through them have never been offered in direct marketing before. We have exclusives on those products. No one else will offer the products that we're able to offer through Chromadex. and the benefits are astounding. We have found benefits in heart health. When they've done testing, people who take these products see reductions in cholesterol. We've had improvements in brain function. In testing, these products, mostly animal testing now, amazingly, they had mice with Alzheimer's. They gave them what this product creates in your body, and their brain function improved. Elite athletes, muscle endurance improves on these products. Insulin sensitivity gets better on these products. Some of you may be interested in the fact that people who overeat don't gain as much weight on these products. You can applaud for that. And the thing that has me most excited is in the testing that they've done thus far, they found that these products seemed to be able to reverse the aging process. But guys, I know, as I said, hearing this from me is really irrelevant. You want to know that there are people who understand exactly what these products are and exactly what these products do behind these products. You want to understand that there's science behind the products. And I want to introduce you to a gentleman from Chromadex. Now, what got me very excited, in addition about Chromadex, was I found that they have big money backing. The chairman of their company is a billionaire. They have folks who have made their money in this industry and chosen to invest in Chromadex. And so I want you to be able to hear directly from him the Chromadex story. Please help me welcome to the stage the CEO of Chromadex, Mr. Frank Jacks.
So, I'm a scientist turned businessman. I founded Chromadex in 1999 out of a spare bedroom in my house. And today we have 3 offices: Irvine, California, Boulder, Colorado is our laboratory, and Washington, D.C., near Washington, D.C. Chromadex is a public company with a market cap today that's around 200 million. So we've done very well over the past 15 years. So the business model which William went through is very simple. I mean, we built a chemistry business. Chromadex's business right now has a long list of Fortune 500 companies all over the world that use us for a service business. We're very much like 5LINX's. We're transitioning from a chemistry services business into a products business of our own. But we need companies like 5LINX's. We are not a consumer products company. We need companies like 5LINX's to enable the technology that we have and sell it. So how do we get this? How do we get this stuff? Well, we use this business that was built up over 15 years to generate market intelligence, primarily at universities and research institutes, and then we use that information to license intellectual property. So we're not just taking random shots at stuff. We're picking up stuff that has a very, very valuable, it's very valuable, and it has a very, very strong chance of massive success. So the slide that you're looking at up here right now is basically Chromadex sort of sits in the intersection of 2 spaces. We have relationships with prestigious universities, research institutes, federal government, and we also have relationships with the largest multinational Fortune 500 companies: food, beverage, dietary supplement, you name it, pharmaceutical companies, we do business with them. We license that technology and then we roll it out in the form of novel ingredients. So we discover, we acquire, we develop, and then we commercialize. And we've already had, last October we made an announcement, so this is a huge validation for us that's still very current. DSM is one of the largest ingredient companies in the world. They're about a $20 billion company actually, $12 billion in sales. And they made a strategic investment in the company, which we announced last October. So there's a strong proof from investments not only in investors like Phil Frost, who's one of the largest investors in our company. He's a Miami guy. He's right here in Miami. The pharmaceutical billionaire. He put a strategic investment in our company about 3 years ago. And again, now 3 years later, we have DSM also making a strategic investment in the company. We're doing some things right. So beyond that, let me start going into the ingredient technologies themselves. Niagen is one of the two ingredients that I'll be talking about today. And as long as I've been doing this, I've never seen the level of interest that we're seeing from the academic community. So the research institutes and the academics based, and this is licensed technology that we have. We license the patents for Niagen from Dartmouth, from Cornell, and from Washington University. So we don't have just one patent. We have probably in the range of 5 to 10 patents protecting this technology. Not only that, we have these research groups that are focused on doing research to further validate the products that we have here, in this case Niagen. We have agreements with MIT, with Harvard, with Washington University. EPFL is one of the best or most prestigious think tanks in the world. You've got Mayo Clinic, Scripps, all of them doing research on Niagen. And those validations are going to continue to come out. You're going to start seeing publications coming out that validate the science that you guys are going to be out there selling. So instead of hearing it from me, let me do it a better way. Why don't you hear from the researchers that are publishing this stuff? Dr. Carlos Canto is from EPFL. Again, that's one of the most prestigious think tanks in the world. They're based out of Lausanne in Switzerland. They call it the hidden vitamin, the miracle molecule. Well, why is it the hidden vitamin? Believe it or not, actually Niagen, which is a metabolite related to niacin, is perhaps there hasn't been a new vitamin launch in about 50, 60 years. Niagen actually represents one of the first significant new vitamin launches in 50, 60 years. The effects of metabolism, the effects of NR on metabolism are nothing short of astonishing. This is a PhD researcher that's saying this, okay? They don't usually say that unless they're pretty confident that there's something there. Let's look at Cornell. So Anthony Sauve, a professor at Cornell, out of the medical school at Weill Cornell Medical College. This study is important. It shows that in animals, the use of NR offers the health benefits of a low-calorie diet and exercise without doing either one. William had talked about weight loss. Well, think about this. This is a prestigious researcher here that's basically saying and validating exactly what William said before. Let's go through this one more time. Offers the health benefits of a low-calorie diet and exercise without doing either one. So let's move to a more recent publication. This actually came out right before, about a week or 2 weeks before we made the announcement of the relationship with 5LINX's. I've been studying aging at the molecular level now for 20 years, and I didn't think I'd see the day when aging could be reversed. Now, this isn't coming from some average person. This is coming from Professor David Sinclair out of Harvard Medical School. And you've seen him probably, some of you may have even seen him before on TV because he's actually a fairly well-known, got a lot of media attention over a compound called resveratrol. Abandoned that and moved now more towards the research associated with the type of compound that we're working on. Again, just one more thing, I'll repeat it one more time. I didn't think I'd see the day when aging could be reversed. That is not a small statement from a researcher. Researchers usually do not go on a limb saying things like this. So pure energy. Pure energy is the second ingredient. It's an alternative to caffeine. A lot of you out here probably consume products like Red Bull, Monster, 5-Hour Energy. They're massive markets. The energy beverage market in the United States right now is $20 billion. And most of that is the big three, Red Bull, Monster, and then 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy sells 10 million bottles of that stuff a week, 500 million bottles a year, 1.5 billion in revenue. Now, the good news is that caffeine, I'm sure you all at some level are aware of this, is under fire right now. Caffeine products are under scrutiny. There's negative media about health problems associated with this. Chromadex even did a survey at one point and showed that people are trying to do anything they can to reduce the amount of caffeine that they're consuming. But yet people don't want to walk away from caffeine either. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. And this slide basically summarizes a lot of the recent activity over that turmoil about caffeinated beverages. So what do we have? We have a patented an alternative to caffeine, which actually is a combination of two compounds that Chromadex has. We crystallize these two compounds together, and what do you get with it? Well, the story ultimately is that this stuff, our form of caffeine, will last in your blood longer than regular caffeine. So you can actually reduce the amount of caffeine that you consume by up to 50% and still deliver the same benefit from ordinary caffeine. You never thought there would be healthy caffeine? There is healthy caffeine. Now, this compound that's tied to it, TerraPure, which is a still bean similar to the resveratrol compound that most of you may know about, there are significant health benefits actually tied to this compound. I'm not going to get into the details on that, but again, you have a healthy caffeine here for a wide range of different purposes, not going way beyond just energy. So why is Chromadex partnering with 5LINX's? Well, that's very simple. Our investors question us about this as well. As a matter of fact, you saw a slide earlier, probably about an hour or so ago, about the top 10 businesses, and several of those were Amway and Herbalife. And our investors ask, why don't you guys just go to Herbalife? Why didn't you just go to Amway? Why are we going to this other company for this? And we don't even know who they are. And I'm like, that's exactly why we're going to them. Why would we want to go to Herbalife? So we're one of 1,000 products that they have, one of 1,000 products at Amway. Are they going to pay attention to it? No, it's going to get lost. What's a better way to go? Go with a company that's hungry, that is transitioning into a health and wellness platform. And our success is tied to your success. If Herbalife fails with our product, what do they care? It doesn't mean anything. If we partner with you, our success is tied together. That's why we came here. The transition is very important for us. Health and wellness is important. We have technology. You have exclusivity. Now it's up to you guys to basically promote and sell these ingredient technologies that we have. Chromadex is excited about this, without a doubt, and we look forward to working with all of you moving forward. Thank you.
Again, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Frank Jacks. I don't think you guys fully understand the power of this relationship. Did you hear what Frank was saying? Leading scientists, best minds in the world are saying they have never seen anything like what I call NR, because I can't pronounce the name, but Niagen. They have never seen anything like it. They're getting contacted now by companies. Okay, well, we want to partner with you. I'm sorry, we partner with 5LINX's. Wait, you mean we can't put your products in our products? And they said, no, we found our company. We found our partner. And collectively, we're not going to $1 billion. We're going to a multi-billion dollars. Wall Street leaders are calling them. Well, how do we take this product? I guess you better call 5LINX's. Do you understand how you are positioned? No, you all don't understand it yet. You don't understand it yet. But you will. when you start taking these products, when you start seeing the benefits, when you start finding that people that you don't know are seeking you out because they've heard that researchers from Harvard and Cornell and the top institutions in the world are saying that these are the products to take if you want to live long, if you want to be healthy, if you want to manage your weight, you are better positioned than you've ever been in your life. Now it's just a matter of taking advantage of it. So the timing of this, what we're going to do, we have what we call Project 55 that we're putting together. Project 55 is going to feature a number of initiatives to allow people, as we're saying it, to live a high-five life. As Craig said, it doesn't do any good to be wealthy if you're not also healthy. And so we're going to be launching that in May. In May will be your opportunity to first see some of the benefits that those of us who have been sampling these products are seeing. And I can tell you, the people who've been on these products, it's like a fight at the corporate office. I need some more of that Niagen. I heard Jeb's got Niagen. Did you get any more? You didn't tell me. Where's the Niagen? And everyone is seeing different benefits. We've seen significant increases in strength for those who are people who are into fitness. We've seen reductions in weight gain. I just had actually the gentleman who developed the coffee formula. He sampled some and he said he's been eating terrible and he's actually been losing weight. And he didn't know what to attribute it to except to that product because nothing else has changed. We've seen those of us who have been recovering from surgery gain significant range of motion. Again, we believe from taking that product. Increases in energy, increases in focus, increases in overall fitness. Now imagine when you become the example for your circle of influence, do you think that your people will be coming to you to get that product? So be on the lookout. We're starting with our leaders, so leaders, get ready. You're going to hear their testimonials in May. They're going to be starting next month. Project 55. We are absolutely going to change the world one life at a time. Make sense? All right, now, you all still didn't seem quite fired up enough when we talked about the product that we have here today. So, here's the thing. I need to clarify a couple of things. When we talked about that business builder package, the one that's 8 points, that they pay $220, right? It releases a $60 cab. They pay that on sign up. I may not have been clear enough. They don't pay $220 every month to get the extra 5 points to go with platinum services. They pay $220 one time, and then it defaults to $129 or $39 auto ship. How does that sound? Does that make sense? Are you all excited about that? Can you imagine? We're going to start this next month. We'll give you a specific date. But can you imagine someone who loves the coffee story? They started by being a customer of the coffee. They want to actually get some of the coffee. Then they want to get into the company. And you say, well, to get started in your business, what you need to get is this Quickstart package. They click it on the website. They're qualified. A $60 leadership bounty is triggered along with a cab. How does that sound to get money moving through your organization? Can you all applaud for that? All right, last but not least, we talked about our order process. Everyone's hopefully filling out our auto ship. But I want to give you guys a little bit of extra incentive. You know, auto ship is a one-time order. Or excuse me, auto ship is a recurring order, $29.95 or $39.95, depending on if you get ground coffee or brew cups. We didn't talk too much about the points. 1 point, right? Normally it's 1 point. But today, a national only special. You know you could get up to 2 auto ships. So for our 2 auto ships, you're going to be able to get 2 points. How does that sound? Ian's staring at me blankly. Frank's going like this. You guys are spoiled. All right. You don't want 2 points. What about 3 points? 3 points sound exciting? Wait a minute. What's the name of our company? What's the name of our company? I want you to stand up and say it. What's the name of our company? 5LINX's. 5 points. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. 5 points. We got some people in the audience who got a whole lot closer to diamond. And double platinum, and platinum, and SVP. How's that? But I was backstage and I realized something. We said we're doing a one-time bulk purchase order if you want to get it. Right? If you do a one-time bulk purchase, if you got an auto ship, you could get that bulk purchase. And we said that bulk purchase was 5 points. But it really doesn't make sense, right? Because if we're doing 5 points for the auto ship, it really doesn't make sense to do 5 points for the bulk purchase. So I made an executive decision. And you all got to cheer real loud for this one. Otherwise, you might not see me on stage at the next national. I made an executive decision that if you get your auto ship for 5 points, and you get a bulk purchase, it doesn't make sense to give you 5 points. So we're going to give you 8 points. You guys aren't excited. 8 points. So, no. Can't do any more on that one. Can't do any more on that one. Don't be greedy. I want you all to think about this. You can get how many auto ships? 2. You can get how many bulk purchases? 2. Do you realize if someone chooses to get 2 bulk purchases and 2 auto ships, that's 26 points. Now make sure if you choose to do that, you have a plan, right? But the most important thing is we want you all to hit the ground running. Whether you're going to get auto ship, whether you're going to get bulk purchase, we want you to get it. we want you to put your plan in place. We want you to get focused, to be committed, to go to work. Because I can tell you guys this, and I told the leaders this the other day. We have never been more focused. We have never been more excited. Jeb said it. Jason said it. Craig said it. I believe the same thing. This feels like the early days of 5LINX. We're more engaged than we've ever been. We're more focused than we've ever been. We're working harder than we've ever been. And it feels like then because we got the same doubters that we had then. And I'm here to put all of you and all of them on notice. Don't bet against us. We, with you as our leadership team, are going to $1 billion. We want people to get on the train or get run over. God bless. We're going to $1 billion. Have a great afternoon.